Love is here to you could imagine. So there's a lot of things when you make decisions, it affects entire communities, and people get out of their house for things that make a difference to them. So, for me, going from the guy who was the PTA guy, who was just working for people's kids, which
Yeah.
is a great way to work, to working for the city, which the city's a big bad organization, as opposed to a guy helping with kids. So it was definitely a big change, and there's a lot of politics involved. And cannabis actually was right on the precipice of everything when I was running for office and when I got elected too. So that was kind of a big change for Vista.
No, and it still has been. I mean, I think so far in North County, Vista is one of the few cities that actually allows real estate,
Real estate.
Retail.
no retail
Retail?
stores. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. It's a funny word.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's the thing is in 2016 when I initially ran for office, that was the same year Prop 64 was on the ballot for recreational marijuana. I always tell everybody my first involvement in politics was when I graduated from high school in 1996, and I voted for Prop 215, which was the Compassionate Care Act. And that's when medical marijuana was legalized here in Southern California, in the state of California, rather. And it took 20 years before the state of California realized, hey, maybe we could do a recreational route. It took until 2018 for the city of Vista to even put something on the ballot, in order to get a retail establishments. And one of the first things I did in 2016 is I said, hey, let's try to legalize cannabis and let's try to regulate it as an elected body. So let's just have a few dispensaries to start. At the time, Vista was governed by a very conservative government, and they said Vista won't want cannabis and we're not going to allow it. So the residents came up with what was called the Citizens Initiative. And Measure Z is what was passed in 2018. And it's one dispensary for every 10,000 residents. So right now we have 11 dispensaries in the city of Vista because we got, over 100,000 residents. Yeah. We won't have another dispensary come probably for another 8 years or so once we get over 110,000. But, the revenue it's been able to generate over, the past 3 years has been, close to $20 million. This year, we're looking at almost $9 million in revenue from cannabis tax. Damn. So the focused impact is what really blows me away. Is everybody scared of weed, man? They're like,
yeah, man. I mean, the older generation grew up having a fear for marijuana. It was just instilled in them like, oh, this is a drug. Like,
those propaganda is being given.
Yeah.
They even called it dope.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a gateway drug, and I heard that a lot. And, if you use cannabis, you're going to switch to heroin or, cocaine or crystal meth or whatever, like it's just kind of an entrance into drugs. And that's kind of like the old way of thinking. And I really feel like when we legalized cannabis in 2018 through the Citizens Initiative, it was simply for medicinal purposes. And once we legalized it for medicinal purposes and they could really see the benefits, I mean, you got CBD, you got CBG, you got CBN, and you got THC. So it's like people aren't using cannabis just to get slant-eyed and have a little bit of fun on a Friday night, CBGs, I call it cannabis for the gut. CBN is cannabis for nighttime, and CBD is, cannabis, lotion for the joints and things like that, and mellow you out. So, there's different cannabinoids that do different things. And I'm really trying to bring awareness to that, to make it, eventually it's going to be like Budweiser, man, or Modelo. So,
yeah, give it a couple more years. To everybody watching on Facebook and YouTube, we were having audio problems, but they are fixed now.
Oh, thank you.
We are here sitting with Joe Green, Vista City Council member of District 2. So if you stayed through the audio problems, we thank you guys. But Instagram, you guys are still good. You guys caught the first 10 minutes. So yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah, right? We started getting comments over here, like no audio, and then over here, like, hey,
once again,
no volume of the YouTube. This shit is weird, dude. Sorry, man.
Then you fine. We do appreciate the viewers tapping in and letting us know, because when you do productions on the live, it's a whole different type of ball game. It's not like editing where we can get it right, just fix up things. No, we gotta get it right on the spot. But thanks again. Shout out to the production team. Shout out to Louie and Oside Lens for taking care of that.
Yes, sir. And shout out to everybody who commented out there in the section.
Young Yachty saying salute y'all, and you got this. But
heck yeah, I'm excited that you guys are watching. This is my first live podcast, so you guys are. I was like, hey, let's do it. Let's do it in Oside. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a Vista boy, as you know, but I like your guys' style, so I was super stoked to come. So, one thing that you guys got to realize about City Council too is I got to be in the city of Vista every second and fourth Tuesday. So like no matter where I am, I can't go on vacation or anything. Like you got to be in the city every second and fourth Tuesday as a council member. And that was one thing I didn't realize as well, that, you know, they take your freedom from you. You gotta, I'm tied to Vista, except for the month of July when I'm off,
Right.
you know, every second and fourth Tuesday, you got to have a meeting.
And then for those days, oh, okay, that's what it is specifically for the meetings, right?
Yeah, those are just for council meetings. But like before this, I had a traffic commission dinner. So, you know, to give you an idea, today I had a 7:30 in Carlsbad. I had a 10 o'clock in La Mesa. I had a 1 o'clock to do my podcast, which is the new Councilman's Corner deal that I just came out with.
Check it out.
So I did a 1 o'clock there. And then I had a 3 o'clock to go over the budget. Had a 5 o'clock mixer, a 6:30 traffic commission dinner, 8 o'clock with the homies.
Yeah, there you go, man.
Thank
That
you.
sounds like a busy and fun day, man.
Yeah, hey, it makes them go quick, as you know.
Oh, thanks, Joe.
So, but no, man, being a city councilman's been super cool. You know, I get to learn a whole lot about my city and really change the landscape of the town. And if you guys have grown up in North County, are you guys like North County boys,
Yeah.
like born and
Yeah.
raised? Okay, Tri-City kids?
Yeah, more down by the beach.
Okay, well, my kids were born in Tri-City, all 4 of them. That's what I was wondering. Tri-City Hospital. Hey,
Yeah.
shout out to being born in Tri-City, okay?
I
Like,
was born in Tri-City.
okay,
I
there
thought-
we go.
I thought you meant if you were like Tri-City area.
Nah,
like,
nah,
okay,
nah. I don't be claiming Tri-City by any means, but you know, like I got kids who were born there. or
Yeah,
whatever.
okay.
But you know, I really feel like being a council member has really allowed me to leave a legacy, you know, that my kids will be able to see. So, you know, a couple big things I wanted to do was work on cannabis when I got elected, which I was very vocal about prior to getting elected.
Okay.
And then also, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Vista, but we used to have a sign that said Paseo Santa Fe over the top. And it
Yeah.
looked like a little bird, like with his little nose. and a
Oh
little,
man, people didn't.
It was kind of a weird investment. I don't understand.
Yeah,
what happened
never
in the first
hey,
place.
hey.
me either, bro.
I just want to say I wasn't in charge at that time or whatever. I was in Costa Rica at the unveiling of it, and I saw it live on Facebook like everybody else.
You said it was a very conservative
Ye-
conservative
yeah,
administration.
Exactly. And what it was is these people, you know, my predecessors per se,
There you go.
20 years ago, they wanted to go ahead and make that area, South Santa Fe, more of a destination because it was scary. I mean, you know, I grew up, you couldn't be on South Santa Fe after a certain time of night. We had the Gold Coast Inn over there and just some dark, scary places. But, you know, 10, 15 years ago, they did a community study and they wanted to kind of bring the Hispanic culture back into it. So they said, hey, we're going to call it Paseo Santa Fe. You know, we're going to slow it down to one lane, kind of be a cruise street that we could have more community involvement, which we liked the name of the area. But they told Vista, you're getting a Vista sign. And it's kind of like Oceanside, right? If you said you're going to get an Oceanside sign and then they put a big sign over the top of Oceanside that says Rancho del Oro, you're like,
Yeah.
that doesn't say Oceanside. Like somebody's fighting, right?
Yeah.
So when I got elected, I was like, hey, I'm gonna change that sign to say Vista, and I'm gonna try to work hard on, you know, getting cannabis to kind of be mainstream and have people not be so scared of actually what cannabis can bring to a community. So, you know, in Vista, we're the only, in my opinion, because you know, we're good like that. We're the only city to do it right. You know, we got no crime as far as that goes from our dispensaries. We got a great amount of revenue coming in, and at the end of the year, we're able to do a lot of good things for the community.
Yeah, man. I think it's like you said, a lot of like the local governments, varying from city to city, I feel like a lot of them are still like old school mentality when it comes to the weed.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's one thing, like you said, Vista did get right, because I mean, I get my shit from Vista. You know?
Yeah, as you should, and we appreciate that 7.5 cents
You know,
on every dollar.
we call that West Oceanside over here.
Okay. Hey, and you know what?
No, it's East
East
Oceanside.
Oceanside.
East Oceanside.
Hey, just like an O-sider, you know, get that run. Nah, I just mess with you. But no, man, it's all love. We're family, you know. I mean,
yeah.
when it comes to 78 corridor, you know, O-side and Vista are coming together. You know what I mean? Like Carlsbad and Encinitas, if they come to our town, O-side and Vista got you.
Yeah, man. You know, being part of the podcast, we have seen a little bit more of a connection between, you know, everywhere from Oceanside to pretty much Escondido at this point.
Yeah.
Between, you know, the community like that. But yeah, Carlsbad and Encinitas are still like on their own thing over there.
Exactly. Well, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, growing up in Vista, I mean, we never really rolled out to Encinitas or Carlsbad unless we were out there to cause trouble, to be honest. Like all of our friends were kind of more in North County. You go to San Marcos, you go to Oceanside, but you don't really go out there. You know, I feel like when it comes to the dispensaries in Vista, since we have so many of them, we have so many niche products, you know, like we got a Stizzy. So like if you're a Stizzy guy, like and have a Stizzy, you know, place there, that's great. Urban Leaf is, you know, a good, you know, like mainstream, you know, franchise. And then March and Ash is another big like mainstream franchise. So it's been cool. We're trying to rebrand kind of this whole area of SoCal, the California Cannabis Corridor. And on my new YouTube page, I got a production team working with me, and we've started the tours of the California Cannabis Corridor. And we started with 5 shorts of just little 10-minute videos inside these dispensaries. And I interview the owners, I interview the bud tenders, I interview like the heads of compliance and stuff like that. And we just talk about like how they got into cannabis and, you know, how they're giving back to the community. Like some of these people are like rebuilding people's houses, and, you know, Walgreens forgave $280,000 of consumer debt in San Diego last year. So like if you had a medical collection, like I don't know about you guys, but maybe a doctor put a collection on my credit when it should have went through my insurance or something, right? Screws up everybody's credit.
Yeah.
Well, Walgreens did a program where if you sent them something saying you had a medical collection, for 2 days, all the cannabis they sold, all the proceeds, they sent all the money to a place called RIP Med Debt, and they wiped out $280,000 of debt for their customers. Like there's no like businesses that do that. So, I mean, having somebody who gives back to the community is huge. And these are real legal businesses in California. So something we're really trying to, you know, bring awareness to, that it's not scary, man.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. No, I like that a lot, Joe. But for everybody who didn't get you on the first half,
Yes.
For your District 2, what region is that on the map for you?
Okay, so District 2 in the city of Vista is kind of the Bringle Terrace Park area. So if you've ever been to Vista, my district per se runs from South Santa Fe and Vista Village Drive, kind of all the way out to like Warmlands down Vista Way, and then Santa Fe all the way down to about Monta Vista, and then all the way in the hills. So I'm the Hills of Vista guy. So, you know, got Ranch Minerva Middle School over there, Beaumont Elementary School, Monta Vista Elementary. So, you know, kind of right on the edge of the county and the city proper. So,
oh, right on. So that's why you were mostly involved also with the Chick-fil-A, right?
well, actually, the Chick-fil-A was approved in District 3, which was on the other side of the city a little bit over by North County Ford. So even though you're elected to a district, it takes 3 votes to get anything approved, right? So when developers come in, we typically do what we call pre-reviews with the council. So like if they want to build a Chick-fil-A or like 5 drive-throughs, they initially came to us and they said, hey, what do you think about that Sun Road property? And I don't know if you've ever been to Vista, but that property used to host like Circus Vargas and things like that.
I remember that. Yeah.
I went to the circus a lot as a kid right there, you know, and it used to also be like an overflow parking for the Ford dealership, right? So it really served no purpose. So initially they were going to sell it to Honda, but Honda ended up buying the bowling alley property. And I don't know if you guys heard about when we closed Vista Entertainment Center, but those Vista people were mad when you closed the bowling alley. Could you imagine if we closed Surf Bowl in Oceanside?
It's inevitable. It's happening. So
There could be a riot, you know?
Don't
Like
tell anybody.
I mean, you're not far wrong from that riot idea, actually.
It's funny because the story coming back full circle with that sign was that we posted that we were putting the second sign up, and we posted a picture of the second sign, and it said Paseo Santa Fe. And one of my homies, Brian Velasco, we grew up together here in Vista, he posted like on Facebook, he like shared the city's post, and he goes, if they approve another sign that says Paseo Santa Fe, we ride at dawn, bitches. And I'm telling you, when I saw that on the social media, I was like, man, like, okay. So I brought it up at the next meeting. I did this whole survey of like the city, like, do you want it to say Paseo Santa Fe or you want to say Vista? So, you know, it was cool to kind of get everybody involved.
What was that ratio like?
It was like 85% Vista and like 15%. And the Paseo Santa Fe people, bless their hearts, I felt like they were just a little older and kind of just, you know, dedicate, kind of had their feet in the ground, if you know what I mean, you know, clawed into the sand. So, but no, man, in the end, I feel like improving communication within a city between the elected body and like the citizens is so huge, man, because we're nothing special, you know?
What is one of the best ways for someone in your position to be able to facilitate that?
For me, I just say text me, you know, like I'm really into like my phone number is always out there. You could always call me. You could always text me. We also have like a council secretary. And I want to say most city councils have a secretary, and you can actually just call them like at the city. It's like 639-6130. Talk to Doris and just be like, I want to get on Joe Green's calendar. And she'll reach out to us and say, hey, you know, Lopes called and said he wants to come down to City Hall and paint your, you know, walls Oceanside color. And I'll be like, yeah, he can't come today, Doris, but thank you. But that's it. So you typically schedule with me and then come down. But a really big thing people don't realize is if you come into the council meetings, so remember how I told you the second and fourth Tuesday? So at 5:30 is when they start. Most of these councils have changed it to where we accept oral communications at the beginning of the meeting. So basically, we pledge of allegiance, we give out some awards, and then we hear from the community. So if you like live in a community, you don't got street lights or something, or there's people, driving too fast in your community, or, your neighbor has chickens that wake you up,
There's one too many potholes.
whatever.
Going
Yeah.
on your road.
I come on, Oceanside. Let's go. There's potholes in Oceanside. But, whatever it is, man, you can show up. And when you speak right in front of your council members, action happens. And I tell people, when you're there and you're on camera, because number one, not only are they seeing you, but the whole city staff sees you, because everybody that works for a city has to watch the council meetings, because that guides the entire staff on what their job is. So it's real important, man. Actually go to the council meetings. Even if a council person won't take your calls or meet with you, they got to let you have your 3 minutes when you're inside council chambers.
Oh, damn.
So
There you go. Write some notes.
that's right. Hey, the government has to listen to you. Don't forget.
And what would you say are, not necessarily that it has problems, but what would you say, what are some of the difficulties that Vista is facing right now?
I just say the difficulties that we're facing is just employees and employee retention and getting a good workforce. We're running real low on firefighters for a really long time. Finding a good paramedic is tough. The city of San Diego right now struggling with it. They got a contract they're working on with Falk Paramedic Group or something. But our firefighters were having to work doubles and triples, and they typically work what's called a 48-96. So they work 48 hours and they're supposed to be off for 4 days. Sounds like a great shift. But could you imagine if you have to cover a buddy shift, and now you've been working for 4 days in a row, not seeing your family 24 hours a day, and we have to have firefighters protecting the city at all times. So that was a really tough place we were struggling. And then currently in public works. So like if anybody watching, if you do any type of mechanic work or maintenance work or contractor work or anything, we'll train you. But these city municipalities, we're losing people like crazy in like the public works department. I want to say we have 12 vacancies right now in public works. So when you talk about those potholes, right?
Exactly.
Nobody's taking those jobs. Like when COVID hit, a lot of people, they took the stimulus money or they took the unemployment. Some people just decided they hated their jobs. And when you let people stay home for a while, they realize, hey, staying home is pretty cool. And then everybody works via satellite now,
Yep.
So we've had to really change the way that we allow our workforce to work as well. We have casual Fridays in Vista now. You can wear jeans, used to not be able to. And we're trying to find more ways for people to work via satellite. But it's really just staffing. So I think that's across the board in the business world, is those like mid-level positions and those entry-level positions. That's where you're really, hurting at right now. And then in Vista, we're also adding 2 more ambulances. So at our upcoming meeting right now, we're looking at adding 2 more just EMT ambulances. And if you could imagine, we have 4 ambulances for 100,000 people right now. So you could imagine 100,000 people might have some problems. And if you only got 4 ambulances going out, that's a big deal.
We carpooling these two together.
Exactly. And not that we don't have paramedics that, are on our fire trucks and things, but we found a good percentage of our calls were just called, there's 2 different types, ALS calls and BLS calls. It's like all-inclusive life-saving and basic life-saving. An EMT who's not a paramedic can go on those BLS calls. It's like, hey, I've fallen and I can't get up, or, something where you don't got to give a medicine to. We have all paramedics in Vista. And that's what was the problem in Vista, is we didn't have any room for EMTs to come in. So we're working on changing the policy so that we can get some younger blood in there, and you can get your EMT license in about 6 months to a year. So if anybody's listening, they want to be a firefighter in the city of Vista, know that we're probably gonna have about 12 positions opening up, I would assume, within the next year to 18 months. And we'd love to have you come work in Vista. So
There you go.
staffing, get jobs.
Man, that was a good promo.
See that? Hey, they should pay me. Like, hey, just
Dude,
so
they should put you on local government or something, man.
Hey, let me tell you guys. All right, so I make $17 an hour working as a elected official. That's my get up. $17 an hour, but I do get some health coverage, which is great.
Do they pay everybody that, or is that
Special? No. So every council member makes $17 an hour. We get paid 40 hours a week at $17 an hour. But yeah, that's all a council member makes. It's not like we make a ton of money. That's why I still have to have a real, this is how I serve my community. It's a service thing.
Right.
My real job is I'm the sole income of my wife and 4 kids. So I still got to run a real estate and mortgage company on the side.
It's not like the national government where you get to those positions and you just make like a boatload of money.
Yeah. And they pay you, 250 or whatever to like fly around and give speeches and stuff. Like, that'd be sick. If anybody wants to make me an ambassador for the United States of America and pay me money to fly around, I don't want to be elected. I just want to rep America, you know, because that's, you know, like that's political neutral is what I'm looking for over
Okay.
here.
There you go. Let's vote.
Yeah.
Joe Green 2024.
American ambassador to, like, I don't know, Malaysia or something. Like I'll start small, you know. I need to go
You know,
anywhere.
yeah, make your way up to the bigger countries. Yeah,
Exactly. Like eventually, maybe I could go to like France or something, you know, and have like baguettes. I don't know what the hell out there. So,
Jeez.
anyway,
Well, I do gotta ask. You've been 25 years in the real estate game yourself.
go ahead.
How did that start?
Okay, so before my mom married my dad, she worked for a church,
Okay.
Manna Christian Fellowship back in the day, and that's what we were raised on, $1,000 a month, and that's all she made. And me and my brother and my sister kind of did our thing. And just before she married my dad, she got her real estate license, and the pastor of her church got his real estate license, so they started working together.
Oh, really?
And so she actually, right before she got married, started making a little money. So I tell everybody the way I moved when I was a kid, I think I went to 14 different schools. I think I was in 12 different homes. I was away from my family 3 different times. Just we were all split up, you know, is
Life happens.
exactly. But, you know, once she got into real estate, you know, it was like an opportunity to like make real money. You know, she wasn't making $1,000 a month anymore. She can actually close deals.
Yeah.
So I used to do all her mailers as a kid. So, you know, 8th, 9th grade, I come home and fill out all the mailers and stuff like that. And when my mom married my dad, I got 5 new brothers and sisters. They're all stepbrothers, blonde hair, blue eyed, you know, Swedish kids. Weird, right? But they all tried to work for us. It didn't work out. And I just really kind of took to sales. I don't know if you could notice, but I flap these lips, man, gift a gab or whatever. So I was just kind of a natural at selling houses. And I got my real estate license on my 18th birthday, which was a long time ago. And I was married by the time I was 19 and owned my house and having kids. So, and I've been doing it full time ever since. I've never been employed. So like the last time I was employed was 15 years old as a busboy at the Quails Inn in San Marcos. So I've always just been, you know, I said I've been hustling my whole life, you know, nobody pays me. I got to wake up every day and, you know, try to get it because nobody's doing it for me.
As a realtor, man, how have you seen the housing economy change?
Man, so this is my 3rd market. So since I got my license in 97, which was a few years ago, you know, that was the first down market, the mid 90s, you know, because between the late 80s and early 90s, there was a huge depression. So I was selling houses initially. First house I bought in 98 was $145,000 in Rancho Del Oro, 1248 Woodview Drive, by the way. And I watched that house go all the way up, you know, in 2008 to where it was worth like $500,000, right? And I had bought and sold other houses, but when the market crashed in 2008, that house went back down to about $300,000. Well, fast forward to where we're at right now in 2022, that same house went up to about $750,000. So
Wow.
I've been able to watch kind of the market shifts and kind of the ebbs and flows. I really feel like the real estate market we're in right now, it's a stable real estate market. It's not necessarily a declining real estate market. And the reason for that is people finally discovered North San Diego County, my man, is I equate this a lot to the Newport Beach blow up. So after the 80s and the 90s, when all those properties went to $1 million, people were freaking out because they were old properties. I mean, you've been to San Clemente before, like that area, they're old, ugly houses, you know, but it was like, those are never going to be worth $1 million. Well, now they're $2 million. They said the same thing about our houses, you know, like never going to be worth $1 million. Well, they went up to 750. And I mean, you got a 4-bedroom house in Oceanside. It was about $1 million at the peak of this market.
Yeah. Yep.
So right now with the interest rate so high, I feel like investors have obviously backed off a little bit, but it's kind of leveled out prices where like an average person can actually get one again. And you don't have a bunch of people just coming in and buying them all out. And that was the problem when the market was hot with the low rates is regular people couldn't buy them. So if you had any friends looking for houses, they were probably like, hey, I try to pay full price and somebody paid $100,000 over asking price. It was crazy, you know. Those days are, you know, kind of backing off a little bit. So it's more attainable for people to get houses. So.
And what do you think that would do for the rent as well? Because, man, rent's crazy all over the place.
Man, you know, that's one thing I don't see changing, man, is the rents, you know, regardless of what happens with the economy, the rents have remained steadily increasing. And vacancy rates are about 2% in North San Diego County, which means they're 98% occupied. So the second you put a property on the market from a rental standpoint, it's going pretty quickly. You know, I would say that the rental rates are going to continue to increase because as investors come out here and buy properties, their carry costs are higher because of the interest rates. So, you know, unfortunately, the costs go up. Now, there is hope, I feel like, for regular home buyers. FHA just came out with this program called the Cal Half a Dream program, and it's the California Housing Formation Act, whatever, but they actually give you 20% down for your purchase now. And it's an equity share program, but it's for people who don't make a ton of money and who don't have 20% down. But I mean, they'll give you up to, 200 grand, on $1 million house for your down payment. And when you sell your home is actually when you pay that money back. So they're coming up with more programs for home buyers so that you can actually get into the homes. And they're not these predatory loans. And that was the problem in 2008 when the market really crashed, is people did 100% financing loans, stated income. So you'd be like, hey, I'm a radio host. I make $200 a year. Boom, boom, boom. And I give you a house. We don't do that anymore. So I feel like the market's going to be pretty stable. Rents are going to continue to go up. Prices should be stable. Maybe you'll see a dip over the next 6 months or so, but I still think we live so close to the ocean. This is the best place in the world to live.
Oh, 100%. Man, there's nothing like San Diego, and especially North County, San Diego. I think it's just different out here. I mean, yeah, San Diego is beautiful and all, but I think just North County has something special when you run down through that 78.
Oh yeah, me too, man. The vibe. I mean, and I bag on Oceanside a little bit, but man, I paddled out at Pink House as a kid, man. Like Cassidy Street, all that. Offshores in Carlsbad. Like we all share this part of North San Diego County. And, like you say, when you go to La Jolla or Leucadia or like any of those other places that are further down south, they don't have the vibe that North San Diego County does. And as big as the cities are now, like how many people are in Oceanside? Like 150,000 people or something like that.
No, it's gotta be more than
It's
that,
probably a
dude.
little bit more, but it's a crazy number.
So a lot of people, right? And 100,000 people in Vista. I could barely walk down the city of Vista without running into somebody that I know, and even sometimes in Oceanside, I'm sure you guys grew up in Oceanside, as you walk around town, it's like, man, crazy. I know people, but that's North County for you. And in San Diego, it's not like that because they got high rises. They're all stuck in their houses. And here we're more of a community, which is cool. So.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, I have one more question, and this is back to the real estate.
Go ahead.
So for a young person, let's say age between 25 to 35,
go ahead,
who is bringing in maybe about 60K a year.
All right.
What would your advice be if they're a new buyer?
So as a new buyer making about 60K a year, number one, I would say you probably want to get a co-borrower to go on the loan with you. You don't have to be married in order to go on a loan with somebody to buy a house either. But what I would tell you is the best loan for you is probably an FHA loan. The minimum down payment on that is 3.5% down. So it's not like you need 20% down in order to buy a house. The rates on FHA loans are actually much more manageable than on the conforming side right now, which a conforming loan is a conventional loan, right? It's just like a standard
average.
Loan. Yeah, exactly. So when people are doing non-government loans, is considered a conforming loan. But on an FHA loan, I mean, your rates are still in the mid 5s, 5.5, 5.6. Your mortgage insurance is, fairly reasonable. And I would say for a first-time home buyer, that's what you want to do. I bought my first house on an FHA, 3.5% down. And it's a 30-year fixed. You have to qualify for it. So no matter what happens with the market, you definitely qualify for it. So say you make $60,000 a year. All right. That's $5,000 a month. All right. About the max debt to income ratio that we use is 50%. So we're going to say we can't give you a house more than like $2,500 a month payment. And the truth is, even though you make 60 grand a year, you're not taking home 60 grand a year. So if I give you a $2,500 a month payment, it's going to be a lot, but that's what I would say you want to qualify, which is probably going to be, under 350,000. So you might be looking at a little 1-bedroom condo, a little 2-bedroom condo, maybe an ESCO or, somewhere in, outskirts of North County a little bit, but there's definitely something for you. Now, if you can get a buddy to co-sign with you, so say you get two guys that make 60 grand and you find a place for 500 grand. Okay. 3.5% on that is $17,500. So you both come up with 10 grand basically, and you go buy a house. And then you buy a house and your payment's $3,200 a month. You both pay $1,600 a month and bang, you own a house together. So, I feel like young guys should really partner up, especially if you got good jobs, like if you've been on your job for 2 years or even in the same line of work for 2 years, or you just came out of college and you got a degree. If you get a job in the line of work you got the degree in, we can use 100% of your income basically when you get your first paycheck. So there's a lot of people don't understand how home financing works and how home buying works. It's definitely
100%.
So because rents are ridiculous. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you pay $4 grand for a 3-bedroom house rent right now, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Easy.
Yeah. So it's crazy. So yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing too is equity and home ownership is really where wealth is built. If you guys have a family in this area that's bought houses, in the mid, back in the day, that's where a lot of people's wealth is in their homes. So I try to encourage home ownership, and it also gets people to stay in town because, I don't want people leaving North County, because then we get these weird people from like Northern California. NorCals are kind of, they're different.
They're different. They're different.
They're different in Sacramento, homie. They got cows like at the beach and stuff up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, some of their beaches you can't even reach. It's all cliffside.
yeah, it's not a beach, man. That's a mountain community. That's
I mean, no shade at them at all. It's
Nah.
just different.
no,
It's
homie,
different than what we
shade.
got
Hey,
over
even
here.
Jesus gives them shade. Like, it's gloomy up there all the time. Like, it's always raining and stuff. Like,
Oh, man.
Jesus, they literally cry because they live up there. Like, the creator of the universe is like, yeah, it sucks you guys moved here. You know what I mean? But not where I'm at. It's good where I'm at. So.
For sure. But we do got some comments going on.
Yeah, I was.
Great.
All right.
You read my mind. We have all damn A. I still don't know how to say this dude's name. They're saying get rid of the gangs. Why does Vista have a lot of dispensaries? We already went through that. Would you mind giving like a quick little summary of why Vista has a lot of
basically.
dispensaries?
We have 11 dispensaries because Measure Z, which was passed in 2018, allows one dispensary for every 10,000 residents in the city of Vista. So that's why we got 11. We tried to just do 3 of them, but the council denied it. So that's actually a voter initiative that was passed by the voters of Vista.
And is that something that they could do frequently? Just have voters try to do their own thing, or has that changed?
No. So anybody can do a voter initiative, and that's kind of the thing too. And where I feel like cannabis is going to kind of go nationally is the truth is, as a governing body, if it's legal in the state, you can create policies within your city to have dispensaries.
Within the state,
exactly.
Right.
But if the governing body won't allow it, the citizens are basically governed by the state. So they don't have to do what the government says. And that's what happened in Vista is the government said, no, you can't do it. Not me, my other council members. And the citizens were like, yeah, too bad. We want to have dispensaries. And not only do we want 3, we want 11 of them. And it was funny because the city actually wrote opposing language. That's what you do. Anytime you don't want a ballot measure to pass, and you'll notice in any election, you'll read 2 sides of it, right? And you'll have one that's like, we're giving out gold bars to little kids and they all get rides down the rainbow. And then the other one's like, gold bars are toxic and rainbows kill baby, so like that's kind of so that's what they did in Vista is we wrote like a thing that was like, cannabis is bad and it leads to this and it leads to that. But at the end of the day, the Vista voters approved it. I want to say it was over 56%, 57% or something, which is, in a vote like that, that's a pretty big statement.
Oh man.
Matter of fact, for the people that do vote.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
And we still got a couple.
High
We had 2
numbers.
more comments on there that I saw. Is there still Vista Homeboy 13 members? And do gang members still hang out? And where?
In Raintree Park.
At Raintree Park.
That's in Townsite.
I know where Raintree Park is. I actually lived at 627 East Los Angeles Drive, which is 3 doors up from Raintree Park. And if anybody wants to play handball, you give me a call. You get a little blue ball. I will take you down at that racquetball court all day, homies. But no, I would say, Vista basically has one gang in Vista, and it's the Vista Homeboys, which is very unique because most cities have a lot of gangs. Oside, you guys got gangs fighting all over the place, and in Vista we got one gang, and where they originally came from, the Vista Homeboys, was our farm community. And there was some, racism back in the day, and the Vista Homeboys basically just came together because they were getting beat up back in the day. So it never was supposed to be, I feel like, a gang that it kind of became, as far as the criminal element. And there are still a lot of, old school, veteranos, whatever, that still love the community and come back and give back. And there's a lot of people that went down that path when they came to VHB. They have kids, they come back into town and they give back.
A little bit older.
Exactly. So, there still is a gang. There's still going to be gang activity. But I'd like to say that a lot of the older Vista gang members work with our sheriff's department, and our sheriff's department, believe it or not, they're kind of cool guys. One of the first thing I did when I got elected was make sure that body cams, homie. Okay. Not having body cams was a big deal because as I've been pulled over several times. Yeah. I've been maced, like just pepper sprayed, like with no reason. Yeah, well, I wasn't always.
On that paperwork they said there's a reason, but when you're like on the other side getting sprayed, that
there was no reason. Yeah, you literally walked into a party and just started spraying everybody with pepper spray. Like it's a bad look for law enforcement, But I feel like over the years there's been a lot more accountability, and one thing that I'm really into is community policing. So like I don't want the cops to show up only on my baddest day. So
Yeah.
we do like coffee with the captain, so like the captain goes around, just has coffee at communities. We do Slurpees with the sheriffs, so we do a lot of different things to just try to get the community out and meet them like when you're not getting pulled over.
Right.
And it'd be funny what you learn, because if you would just come to like a coffee with the captain or a Slurpees with the sheriffs, you'd find out they're not all traffic cops, homie. So when they pull up behind you, they're not all trying to pull you over. And that was something I was always worried about. Like as a driver, you get a sheriff's deputy behind you, you think, oh man, I'm getting pulled over. And maybe it's just me because where I grew up and kind of that's what they used to do. But yeah, there's not that many traffic deputies, and they don't want to pull you over because they have so many other places they're going. So as long as you're not blatantly driving like an idiot, I mean, they're pretty all right, man. Okay, so look at me advocating for sheriffs. Talk shit up there. I'll look at you. I'll take you.
Yeah, I hope that answered that question.
And I'm gonna power through the Instagram comments real quick.
Let's go.
We have music business for Chad Shine saying, "What up, my brothers?" No sound. We got that fixed. Is it Junior Cruz saying the boys back at it? Heads up, no volume. We already got that fixed too.
Word.
Arm the poet telling us he's eating ground turkey, rice, and ramen.
He switched up to
There you
turkey.
go
Yeah.
for ramen.
He's saying he was thinking about running for Vista mayor. And he says, "Fuck gentrification."
Yep.
Jesse
All
Gray
right.
Barton says Oside Harbor sign is rad. Eddie's saying Viva Mexico. Sorry, you guys watching the Mexico game versus USA. And RM is saying he's still pissed they closed the Vista bowling alley for dumbass Honda.
I tell you,
Or
yeah.
for bitch ass Honda. Sorry.
We wanted Honda to go on the other side. Like that was the jam, but like,
Yeah.
Hohen said, They
Nah.
thought they were Puff Daddy or whatever. It's weird.
And then we have Alan saying he said Slurpee with the sheriffs.
Yeah, he did. He did. Hey, he said Slurpee with the sheriffs. That's the thing, really. I swear. I'm not in charge of marketing, homie. I just re-say what they tell me.
You want me to promote what? All right.
Yeah. It was funny. I got invited to a fancy gathering of gentlemen called Sips and Sticks, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna go to Sips and Sticks. I mean, it's just drinking whiskey and smoking cigars or whatever, which is a little much for me, anyways. I don't be smoking cigars like with tobacco inside them, So, anyways, haven't made it to Sips and Sticks with the fellas yet. But marketing is bad on some things, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and don't forget, man, we are here with Joe Green, City Councilman for District 2 of Vista. It's been a great episode so far.
Yeah.
That's right. We're having so much fun over here. I got the orange mic, so it's hot mic.
But what do you guys say we go take a quick break and we'll be back after a couple messages?
Oh,
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Yeah, I'm with
let's
that.
go.
Cool. All right. Well, everybody stay tuned through the messages. We'll be right back. Don't forget, we're here with Joe Green, City Councilman of Vista. Shout out, of course, to the sponsors that make this show happen week in, week out.
Yes.
Urban Water, The Draft, Old School Saturdays, OAW.
OAW, what's
Badly's
up,
Fashion.
OAW? Hey, OAW, Joe Green, invite me over, okay? Keep
Yeah,
going.
you-
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
we-
like right on the covers of like Vista and Oceanside.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And
pull
it's,
up.
I believe it's Vista Boys over there in OAW, if I remember. So
Oh, shit.
anyway, I deserve an invite. That's all I'm saying. Keep going.
Yeah, no, we'll take you, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Uh,
Natalie's Fashion. Shout out to Women Workout Wear.
The draft, or I say the draft?
Yeah, we did say that.
Full
Full
Metal
Metal
wings are
Burgers.
bomb. Full Metal burgers. Come on, Ben.
Full Metal Burgers. We forget anybody?
Nah,
Old School Saturdays. We already said Old School
Old School
Yeah,
Saturdays.
yeah,
Saturdays,
we
it's-
said
I
it
think we
mostly.
chill. I think we
They're all
good.
there.
I think we're good. Well,
Street Knowledge Hydraulics. Shout out to them.
Hitting switches.
Yeah, we
Can't
do.
forget.
We do got the gear right here.
Oh, right here.
Yep.
all right.
I think
so-
let's put that there. I was like, remember, motherfuckers.
Yep. Well,
Oh,
on that
wow.
note, don't forget, we'll be right back after the messages. Stick it through, man. This is the Kick It Podcast.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. And like just like that, we are back from break, man. Thank y'all for holding through. But don't forget, we are here with Joe Green, City Councilman of District 2 in the beautiful city of Vista.
That's right. That's right. That's my Vista hat, right? Custom Vista
Yeah,
hat.
he got the wardrobe change real quick.
Mhm.
Got the hat on. Hey.
I love no.
I know this man. Yeah,
Get
this
my
man hit
grandpa
us up.
chain out, you know. Like, love you, grandpa. Let's go.
Yeah. Joe hit us up. He's like, "Yeah, I might be in the suit, so like, don't be hating." He's like, "Well, fuck, dude, I'm gonna wear my."
I was stoked. Hey, I'm telling you, when I showed up and you guys were wearing blazers, I'm like, hell yes,
Now
man.
I look like the asshole.
That is
in my
good.
kick away shirt.
You are the asshole. Hey, I'm glad he said something, right?
Yes, but no, because you're wearing our merchandise.
That's
so
right.
That counts.
And you can get one of those shirts somewhere, right? Like if they purchase these shirts.
Yeah, you can get them here. Just let us know what you want, and we'll get it done.
I'll be ordering a double XL by the end of the night because,
Hey.
and I prefer something form fitting in the upper area. I work out. So.
You want it up
Gotcha.
here so it hides this.
Exactly.
Over
Yeah,
here.
I want it flowing.
So it drapes. Yeah.
You know my Steve's homie. Heck yeah, I stay fun to hug. That's the shape I'm in. You know what I mean? Anyway. So what's up, guys? What do we do for second half here? What's going on here?
Well, second half, it's always more of a kickback. We're just kicking it right here. After we got done with the hot questions, you can say in the first segment, and then
Those
we
were
just tap
hot,
in
too.
for people to comment on more and just tap in, and we just touch up on any and every kind of subject that we could think of. Sometimes we do get weird into this. Sometimes we do talk about conspiracies.
Ooh, great. Let's go. Is Area 51 real? I mean, come on. Like, are there aliens there?
Bro, I
mean, Area 51 is real. It's just we don't know what the fuck's in there.
I
Like, as public
you know what,
knowledge,
man? I'm gonna go the opposite.
allegedly.
I think there is nothing there.
Ooh.
I think someone back in the day was like, dude, it's fucking boring around here, man. Let's create some stuff to bring some revenue in, dog.
Yeah.
You just say aliens.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's kind of what I was thinking too, because like technology, right? Like
Yeah.
in the 80s, if you saw a drone flying around going zoop, 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 right?
Yep.
You would
That'll
think
trip
that it
you
was,
out.
yeah. So I don't know. I kind of feel
Man.
you. I never seen a green man.
I'm pretty
Not
sure
me
Area
neither.
51
know
is
Joe Green.
definitely hiding a lot of info.
Yeah, you
And
do.
I'm sure there's multiple underground bases throughout the United States or the world, just to put it in that perspective.
Yeah, government's lying to us, man. They're out to get us. I could tell.
Give us the info.
I mean, they already have like the alien files out, though. The government has recognized like extraterrestrial like beings.
Yeah,
Right?
they're just unidentified. You know what I mean?
they're just saying they're
Unidentified.
unidentified.
Yeah, I mean they're not
When
extraterrestrial.
really,
saying,
they,
like,
they
yeah,
most
there's-
likely are identified
They
by
were
by
saying,
us
yeah, they're
already.
saying, yeah, there
They-
is
that's not telling
UFOs, but like when we think UFOs, we think aliens. But they're saying unidentified flying objects. Like, yes, there is.
Yeah, could be Russians for all you know. You know what I mean? Could be, Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, they
going
were
around.
just flying objects that were never identified, so they become UFOs.
Yeah, like on Wednesday after Taco Tuesday, man, there's flying objects coming out the roof. Sometimes nobody's identifying nothing. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, sorry, gotta have a good poop, Joe.
Man,
Come
there
on.
you go. that goes back to the Carlsbad thing.
And at the end of the day, bienvenidos de Carlsbad.
Wait, you make it until Wednesday?
I mean, our Vista tacos are made with good meat. I don't know what you.
That's where I was buying them.
Hey, shout out to Primos and Rodeos. We love you. Your meats are great. Okay, I don't know what Oside's doing. Mad love.
We got Wing Wednesdays going on.
And I'm not joking. They really do have wonton Wednesdays at pickup sticks, right? So, like, if you like wontons, they used to be $0.25 each, and I think they're up to like 35 cents or 40 cents each. But 10 wontons for under $5 is a big deal right now. if
Like
you're on a
cream
budget.
cheese wontons?
Yeah, cream cheese
Oh,
wontons.
Cream
man,
cheese
that's a good
wontons,
deal.
man,
Yeah,
Those are bomb.
with the
Mm.
sauce.
telling you, sweet and sour sauce.
Ooh.
Fantastic stuff.
I do want to touch on it, Joe. on the Sandag
Oh,
organization.
I thought that was hot questions from like first half interview.
Oh, I know, but we missed one.
Oh, dang it.
Well, see, that's the cool thing
Damn,
about the
bro.
second part. We could be kicking it, but questions could also come back.
Yeah, too hot in the hot tub.
Yeah.
I got you. No, so Sandag, yeah, as you know, there's a lot going on with Sandag. I'll tell you what, the balance of power at our city council has shifted a little bit. The city of Vista has been a conservative run council for a really long time. It was one of the last conservative strongholds. Like they weren't allowing tattoo parlors in there. Like they actually weren't even hiring firefighters if you had tattoos below your elbows
Damn.
before
Yeah.
I got elected.
See? And
It's crazy, man. It was crazy. So I really feel like we've changed that. You know, our council is a majority Democrat leaning now. You know, I've been a registered Republican my whole life. I'm not really like a, you know, political guy at all, but I'm a Vista guy. And to be honest, the two you know, Democrats that are elected, Karina Contreras and Dan O'Donnell, those are two people, both times they run, I support both of those people.
Yeah.
And they weren't in my political party, but they're Vista, man. You know, and when it comes down to what I think is going to be best for Vista, that's how I make my decisions. So, you know, even though our council's a little unbalanced, you know, Katie and Karina, you know, are a little more connected and, you know, a little, you know, more liberal per se than maybe Dan is, but they're all the same political party. I still feel like we get a lot of stuff done. And, you know, since Dan represents Shadow Ridge, it's kind of a balanced community where it's really cool to, like, I would say Dan O'Donnell, who's our new council member, probably is the swing vote in Vista, you know. So if we need you know, stuff to get done on a conservative end, he's got to vote for it to get done. If he needs stuff done on a, you know, liberal end, he's got to vote for it to get done. So, but the ideas that have come out of this and the amount of, you know, good things that have happened in areas where not a lot of good crap had happened in a lot of years has been pretty huge, man. And that's really what I wanted to see, is just more of Vista getting benefits from everything that Vista's done over these years. So, you know, it's been good. But back to your Sandag thing, and that's kind of what I wanted to get to, is since our council is you know, 3 Democrats right now, and it's that way in different cities too, right? So different cities, you have 3 Republicans, and they did the same thing. So in the city of Vista, it's always been the mayor appoints who the representatives are for all of the boards.
Okay.
And then the city council confirms the mayor's appointments. So the mayor said, hey, I want to be the rep at Sandag. And the mayor of the city has always been the representative at Sandag as long as Vista's been incorporated. Even after the city was districted, we still kept it that way, because since the mayor's elected at large, you know, we felt like, hey, he's the only one who really represents the whole city. Whether you agree with him or not, like, he's the one who represents the city.
yeah,
so
so
let
it's
him
kind
go.
of like he in sort of like, all right, so he's thinking about what's best for the city as opposed to
What's best
what
for
it
your
could be
district?
for your district, or even like taking to another step forward, like what's best for your political party in certain points.
Exactly. And that's kind of why, you know, I had an issue with it, you know, because I really felt like it was a political move to get my mayor off because he didn't agree with Sandag's 5 big moves. And I was on the regional transportation committee of Sandag. Catherine Blakespear, who was the president of or the chair, I guess, of Sandag for a couple of years, who's now our senator here. Shout out to Catherine. She's our senator. Thanks for getting us money and being a good elected official. I was on a whole lot of those commissions, so I know a lot about their 5 big moves and how many billions of dollars it's going to cost. And, you know, they're basically allocating a lot of money into transit, you know, into trains and into buses, and they want to do mobility hubs and things like that. But in our neck of the woods, it's kind of hard to get to train stations. I mean, if you live out in the sticks of Vista, it's not really practical. Right. And in 2004, we voted for Measure A. And Measure A in 2004 said they were going to put another carpool lane on the 78. So there's going to be a carpool lane that just went straight through the 78. So like if you don't live in Vista or whatever, you just get to go straight through, which could you imagine if there's a carpool lane on the 78? They were also supposed to fix the connector at the end there where the 78 connects to the 5.
Yeah.
There's a stoplight at the end of our freeway. We're the only freeway with a stoplight. The 52, the 67, and the 56, the 125. None of them have stoplights, you know, to transition into big interstates. So they were supposed to do all this in 2004. And now with the 5 big moves, they're reallocating all that funding into transit. So for me, I felt like our mayor was the best person to represent us because, you know, 90% of people in my neck of the woods drive. They don't jump on the train. And Sandag was basically trying to get ridership up from about 6% to about, you know, 9% or 12% max, which still means, you know, 88% of the people are paying for 12% of the people to ride the trains. And Sandag's got to pay for that somehow. And I'm sure you guys have heard about the vehicle mileage tax and
Yeah.
the gas tax. And so it just became this huge thing. And in Vista, we actually had a pretty contentious meeting when it came down to the Sandag vote. And it really did, in my opinion, become more of a political thing than a Vista thing, because it was like, we need to steer away from single occupancy vehicles. We need to have more people riding transit, and we don't need to fix the 78. And in my opinion, I kind of felt like that was the stance of Councilmember Melendez, who is our representative on Sandag now. Okay. But initially, when I heard her say those things, I wasn't excited about it, because as somebody who drives a car, we serve a population that is predominantly Hispanic. A lot of them drive cars, and, we got a lot of landscapers in our neck of the woods, got a lot of construction workers. To think those people are going to jump on a train or a bus is impractical, and I don't want to spend all my tax dollars for crap like that. So even if you can't get it done, and that's the problem with Sandag, nobody realizes the city of Chula Vista and the city of San Diego control all of the money. All right. So even though there's 19 cities in the county of San Diego, those 2 cities with a weighted vote can spend the money however they want. So the mayor, and the reason why people kind of got mad at our mayor for walking out, is the mayor and a bunch of other mayors from other cities tried to appoint a second vice president at Sandag, a second vice president, not a real vice president. It's like the second vice president. And their one law and their bylaw says you have to honor the tally vote for the second vice president. So you shouldn't do a weighted vote on that vote. And the truth is, it's a second vice president, man. Like, I don't know if you got any friends that are like assistant managers, but it's not like the most glorified position ever, right?
Yeah.
Well, all these mayors said, hey, we want to appoint the guy from Del Mar, who was a Democrat as well. And they said, we want him to be the second, vice chair or whatever, Sandag. And they all voted on it, and it passed. And right before they actually put it into record, Nora Vargas, I believe is her name, called for a weighted vote. And then her and Shawnee Lovera, who's the co-chair from San Diego, changed the vote and got rid of the second vice president.
That's
so
crazy.
I feel like they flexed on us over like a second vice president. And I'm like, bro, if they're going to flex on us over a second vice president, what's going to happen when we want to fix our roads out here? And it's so crazy, because we went through all this with the Sandag rep and things like that. And then those storms came, man. And then, when the 78 floods, it closes at El Camino Real because of horrible drainage. Well, this time, sinkhole on College. So they've deferred maintenance on the 78 for so long that our freeways are closed right now. You can't go east on the 78 right now because they're having to redo all that stuff because they've deferred maintenance for so long. So down at Sandak, it was a really, really contentious, battle to figure out who went up there. I'm proud to say I feel like Councilmember Melendez, Councilmember Contreras, or Deputy Mayor Contreras, I should say, Councilmember O'Donnell and the mayor, we've all kind of come up with like a plan of attack where we know Katie's going up there. She's going to represent us. And we're much clearer now on what she's trying to do as far as fighting for Vista goes. And it's not that she wants to take your cars away. Okay. Everybody can still have cars. But what she wants to do is that, look, if you live right next to a train station, take the train if you can. If you live right next to a bus station, take the bus if you can, So what do we have to do in order to attract people to take those forms of transportation? Because if we can get people who live close to transportation taking it, it'll free up congestion for those of us who aren't able to take, the public transit. And I feel like that's kind of the prerogative of the other side. Is it's like they're not trying to take your cars away. They just want to make, if you got to drive a car, it'd be easier on you. But if you don't have to drive a car, let's make it easier for people to not drive a car. And when I hear it given to me like that or presented like that, it's easier to receive, right? Because you don't want to take my car away. I own a lot of cars. I need all of them, I don't need all of them, but so I really feel like, the Sandag thing was a big deal, but having her go up there now and say, hey, we just recently passed a resolution to abolish the gas tax. And that's the big problem is the 5 big moves that Sandag was talking about. The way that they're going to fund that is with a vehicle mileage tax.
So sorry to bother you, but what are the 5 big moves?
So I don't know what all 5 of them are. You'll have to look them up at sandag.gov, but they call it the 5 big moves. And it's basically, the transit, the mobility hubs, autonomous vehicles, and then like the trains. And I'm sure there's, like a walkability study, so there's 5 different aspects to transportation, and they're just trying to shift money from the single occupancy vehicle per se to a mass transit. So that's kind of the synopsis of what the 5 big moves are about.
Okay.
But it costs about $268 billion with a B to do. And in order to do that, you have to tax people, right? So their initial way to do it was do what's called a vehicle mileage tax. And the original presentation was that they're going to have different lanes, right? And like the different lanes, you could pay more money per mile. And the more money you pay, like, you know, you get in the carpool lane for 7 cents a mile, and like you get in this lane for 4 cents a mile, and then this lane for 2 cents a mile. And if you just don't want to pay anything, you can be in the slow lane for 0 cents a mile, you know? And at the end of the year, they tax you based off of your registration mileage, or you guys know those fast track things that you have. Everybody would have to have something like that where they would track you like that. But the thing is, right now in California, we pay more for gas than any other state in the nation.
Yep.
So they're trying to put taxes on top of what we're already paying.
Yeah. And the taxes that we pay, I want to say it's like over 36 cents a gallon or something just for taxes in California.
Yep.
And they were supposed to fix the roads with those. So if you've ever gotten off on Emerald Avenue, right there on Vista and Oceanside, and you ever got off there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't that like the crappiest place to get off
It's
ever?
it's weird, man. It's so many stoplights, like.
Yeah, no right turn on red and like no left. I mean, it's crazy, right? So there's this big plan to fix that. Well, in 2004, they were supposed to fund it. That was 19 years ago, man. You know, so, you know, Sandag for me, you know, I really wish, and this is a wish of mine, that there was a North San Diego County Association of Governments. Because believe it or not, North San Diego County makes up about 33% of the population collectively, you know, and Escondido is a really big city as well with a really big population. And, you know, you get Escondido, Oceanside, Vista, San Marcos, and Carlsbad together as the North San Diego County Association. You know, we're a thriving community, and it would be so good to be able to take care of our own corridor. And right now, with all the money going down to San Diego and Chula Vista and the city of San Diego being able to allocate funds, I don't know when the last time was you guys were down in Chula Vista.
It's been a while.
Okay.
But damn, it sounds like North County sending money down there.
Yeah, we're getting shit on straight up. So like we send money down to San Diego and they spend it on their stuff. And so that's why I feel like we need a bulldog down there. And you know, in California, the political climate is more Democratic. Okay. You have more Democrats than you have Republicans in California. So in my opinion, having Councilmember Melendez up at, you know, Sandag right now with a Democratic run, you know, Sandag board, who cares? Like, hopefully they'll give her some stuff, you know, they got, good, so I was trying to spit on you. No, that's the 40 version you're getting in studio here. But, you know, I feel like, you know, you almost got to be on their team. And, you know, with the Mayor Franklin up there, yeah, he's loud. Yeah, he walks out, but you catch more, you know, flies with honey or whatever they say, you know. So hopefully her being up there will be able to get us some things. And then our local electeds like Catherine Blakespear, she was the chair of Sandag and now she's a senator. So being a senator, now she's even got this bigger platform where she can be like, hey, we need money for this stuff. Send us money. And that's where the money goes is the feds send the money to the state. And then the state sends the money to the county. Then the county sends the money to the cities. You know what I mean? So it's really a deal of, you know, by having Mike Levin up there and Tasha Horvath up there and Catherine Blakespear, regardless of your political party, okay, regardless of what you feel about their national politics, all right, I'm worried about what's happening on my Oceanside streets. I'm worried about what's happening on my Vista streets. The amount of funding they've been able to bring our communities, whether it's for wells or like street improvements or community centers or scholarships, it's tremendous. And this is just over the last 4 years, this political shift, we've gotten millions in Vista, like $12 to $15 million of federal funds. At the end of last year, when Tasha Horvath was our assembly member, we got $3.5 million on what's called a trailer bill. Okay. I had never heard of a trailer bill. Okay.
Yeah, me neither.
It's
right now. Go ahead.
I've heard of a trailer park before, right?
You know what I'm saying?
but you know, so like in cities at the end of the year, we have what's called surplus spending. So like with marijuana, right? Like we're projected to make $9 million this year. Okay. We only put $4.5 million in our budget. So at the end of the year, as a council, we got $4.5 million extra bucks to go on a shopping spree, right? Well, they do the same thing in the state of California. So they budget for a certain amount of money, but at the end of the year, they have surplus money, right? Yeah. Well, since we never had any representatives up there that could get money for us, we never knew what they were doing with the extra money. It was going to San Francisco and San Jose and getting all this money, right? Yeah. At the end of last year, we got $3.5 million for a soccer arena at the Boys and Girls Club in Vista. We weren't expecting it. They already told us no, but since they had extra money at the end of the year, they were like, hey, take this $3.5 million, Vista. Have a great day. And we just like got an email like, hey, your assembly person has got you $3.5 million. So, when it comes to politics, people have to realize that, yeah, I want you to vote your heart. I want you to vote, what you believe is going to make a difference. And if your national politics mean that much to you, where, your immigration policies and your pro-life, pro-choice policies and universal healthcare policies or whatever those are for you, if those mean that much to you that you can't send a local representative to the state level, we'll vote that, okay? But what I'm saying is, well, from what I've seen right now with the balance of power that we have, the representatives we have are sending us money. So no matter what you think they're doing, when it comes to the local level, we're getting more funding from the feds and from the states than we ever have. So shout out to our, federal and state elected officials. Keep sending us money because we need it. Okay. Thank you.
So businesses
Please.
taken care of.
Yeah. And then when it comes like the Sandag thing, with the abolishment of the gas tax resolution in Vista, what we said is, hey, we don't want to pay a mileage tax if we're paying a gas tax. So basically, once you start charging us the mileage tax, get rid of the gas tax. And in California, by 2025, they actually want to stop manufacturing gas-powered vehicles. It's like 2 more years or something like that. You're not going to get rid of all the gas vehicles, but
stop making.
Once you stop making them, eventually you might get rid of them. Or we all run on solar power, and they say when cars are going to be autonomous, you can put more cars on the road because they all drive within a few inches of each other at 70 miles an hour on your way home. It's like being on a train almost. So technology is really going to advance the way transit is. And you do have to be a visionary. And that's where I feel like there's this big fight between, the conservatives and the progressives, is because, there's people looking out for, hey, in 2050, what should we look like? Like, what do you want to look like in 2050? I mean, I graduated in the mid 90s. We didn't have the internet, gentlemen. Okay. I had to read encyclopedias and stuff like that. Okay. I mean, come on. Like, it's crazy to think. And that wasn't that long ago. So you have to be a visionary. You got to be able to plan for that type of thing. I just don't want them spending all the money at once if that's not where we're going. So sorry, long-winded on Sandag, but we all drive, man. We all got cars.
We
So.
all do.
No, that was great. That was a great segment for the viewers to know. I do appreciate that.
Yeah,
Joe.
thank you, Joe.
Give it up anytime, baby. Let's go.
I want to go back to what you're when you were talking about Sandag and bringing North County together to try to get them, to do the North County Association you were talking about. Is that possible?
Well, I'll tell you what, man, we have what's called the Innovate 78 initiative. And a lot of the mayors, the mayor of Escondido, San Marcos, Oceanside, Vista, and Carlsbad, they all locked hands, those 5 mayors, about 5-6 years ago. They have this Innovate 78 initiative. And they all really came together to go fight down in San Diego together. And they actually created an organization, nonprofit called Innovate 78, which has different labs and stuff for people to try to, advance their businesses and things. But I feel like if we can get, a collaborative group of elected officials and our residents to just keep, banging that drum and saying, hey, if they're not going to send us the money, let's disband from them. I mean, it's like, hey, if they're not going to do what we want them to do, how long do you keep doing the same thing and expecting different results?
Right.
And where I'm at, I mean, it's been 19 years, homie. Like, I've been married for 25 years. If my wife didn't do what I wanted for 19 years, I mean, it's like, I'm assuming she probably ain't going to do it, And that's where I'm at with Sandag is we already paid for it. We voted for it. You said you were going to do it and you didn't. So, I give it a couple more years. We'll see how the balance of power shifts out and things like that. But I feel like it should be a possibility. When you look at the revenue we pay, you look at the taxes we pay enough money that we should be getting our fair share. And when Caltrans and Sandag came down to Vista and talked to me, that was my question. I'm like, okay, so check it out. We represent 33% of the population in San Diego County. We represent 33% of the revenue in San Diego County as North San Diego. Are we getting 33% of the funding? Are we getting 33% of the pie? You know what the answer was? No, you're not. We don't do it like that. And I'm like, well, I want to know how you do it. Because, right? Like,
I'm sorry, Joe. That's just,
it's true shit, right? Like, I mean,
that's real ball busting right there. I'm sorry. I remember.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It ain't like that at all.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing like that at all.
Thank you for your service. It ain't like that.
Yeah, they're like, no, it's not like that. The governing body allocates funds based off of the CIP. And what I was doing is we have a big thing, right? It's like, hey, these are all the projects you were supposed to do since 2004. And there's probably like 50 of them, right? You look at the unfunded projects, guess where they all are? Okay. North County, homie, every single one of them. And I don't care who you like, even Katie Melendez, who went up there to fight for the Emerald Corridor, and she brought people up, man. They were calling and stuff like, yeah, we won it. Sorry, it's not on this year's CIP, but thanks for telling us. We'll think about it later. Have a great day. So like
Mm.
exactly. So like
that's how it went, right?
exactly how it went. It's just like, did you say no? You know, like I mean, like that's how you feel at the end of the day, you know? So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, until we put our foot down and say, hey, we're either leaving or you got to give us what's ours, there's going to be an issue. And I'm hoping that by having Katie up there, because I feel like Katie is an optimist, you know, and Katie's younger and, you know, she really feels like, hey, she's still fired up, you know? I mean, I'm a grandpa now, you know? I'm a little, I'm like, yeah, I don't see it, but you go, girl, you know? But I feel like, you know what?
Life.
Life. Yeah. They kicked me in the huevos so many times. I can't even wake up on Wednesdays. Shit, I don't know how I got out of bed.
But more Huevo Wednesday.
Exactly. Hey, you've heard about Huevos Wednesdays, right? It's after Taco Tuesdays. You get smashed down. But, you know, I mean, I hope that the energy she has and the optimism she has can bring money to Vista. And that's the thing. I mean, I pray for all my elected officials, you know, like everybody's like, hey, how do you feel with the president? I'm like, that's my president, you know, whether you vote for him or not, I don't care. He represents America. And you know where I live? America. You know what I want to be successful? America. Because I'm an American, you know, just like California. Like, you call it what you want, man. It's my home. And yeah, it's jacked up. Every place is jacked up. But this is the place I choose to live. And if I'm going to live here, I'm going to try to work hard to make a difference. So that's what it's all about.
No, I'm with that 100%. And I mean, if we have to split from San Diego, let it be what it be. I mean, they don't really care. They don't drive up here like that. You know, I think we drive down there more than they come up here. So if it is what it is, then let it be done.
Yeah, I have heard a lot of.
You heard it here first on the Kick It Labs podcast. Let's go. North San Diego County Association of Governments, as suggested by Councilmember Green in District 2.
And then they're gonna hit us with the let's talk about
You've had plenty of time to talk, bro.
Exactly.
Let's take
That's my
action
game,
right
too.
now.
It was like Joe over here said, man, we've been waiting long enough, and that ain't happening. It's probably not gonna happen.
I
you
guess
know?
we hit the road,
It-
Jack.
There you go. How long do you get, you know, shit on before you decide,
Yeah.
hey, that's enough?
No,
you
it
know,
is.
like,
Yeah.
like, no, I'm good. You know what I mean?
No, ignore the speed
Oh,
guy.
Oh, that's shit. No, I'm good. You know? See you later.
I thought that was some melted stickers.
So what you're saying is that's not a brownie. That's crazy. Anyway,
Try
sorry.
again next year.
Sorry, Sandag, not my jam.
No, but I'm with that. I think the 78 should definitely get improved. That it's been long overdue. I didn't even know there was a proposal for HOV lane. I think it's much needed
Yeah.
because that's the only big corridor up here besides, you know, the 56 a little bit further south, you know?
Yeah.
So it needs it. It's inevitable.
Yeah, and those connectors actually do also have carpools. So even like the 52, the 56, the 67, like they all have connectors, and none of them stop at the 5. They all have, you know, like actual ramps, like that interchange like a regular freeway.
Right.
And that's the thing. I mean, you know, I voted for it in 2004. So I remember because they ask you to pay more taxes. So it's like, hey, that gas tax you pay, we pay it because of how we voted back then. So that's the whole problem with government, man, is you can't tell people you're going to tax them and then not spend the tax money on what you say you're going to spend it on, because then they don't trust you. You know, it's like the whole purpose of government is to get people elected that you trust so that when you vote on stuff, you can trust that they're doing what they're supposed to do. And being in government, something I found out is people aren't always doing what they're supposed to do. People do what's best for them. And, you know, the WIFMs of the world, you guys know about the WIFMs, right? WIFM. What's in it for me, my friend? The WIFMs, man. No matter what you do, unless there's something for them, they don't care. People aren't here to serve. People are here to get served. And, you know, those are the people that we're always up against, is like, if it's not going to benefit them personally, individually, and it's going to put any burden on them at all, they don't want to bend a little bit just to help somebody. And I feel like that's where we're at with Sandag is there's nothing in it for them. None of them drive the 78, but they all go to Padres games and they'd love to have a tunnel in the trolley, or, you know, they'd love to have an overpass over the whatever, you know, but it's like they got to start thinking about us like we think about them, because we've been trusting them with our money and they've been not giving it to us.
And that's my whole point has been. Thank you, Joe.
Get them. Let's go.
Yeah, no, and even with like public transportation, I think we need a couple more sprinter routes, dude. Like it almost feels like you're driving through the 78 when you ride the sprinter from Oceanside all the way to Esco. I think there should be a couple more different ways to get around, you know.
Well, that's the thing too, is right now the Sprinter hits every 30 minutes, and ridership is obviously down on the Sprinter. I mean, hey, it's only coming every 30 minutes. It's not a practical way to commute, So they're trying to get the ridership up or as far as the stops up where they come like every 15 minutes. But the problem is Sprinter's not double tracked, it's double tracked at a couple spots, in Vista, it's double tracked at Civic Center Drive, but not even at the train station at freaking Vista Village Drive, And since not a lot of people ride it right now, saying, hey, we got to build another track or like we got to do more stops, everybody like me who drives cars, and that's what they're saying is like, hey, it's going to cost like $10 billion or whatever to build another track and make it come every 15 minutes. The people in the cars are like, well, I don't want to pay for that because I'm never going to ride the train, So it's just this battle, man. The big thing I feel like is going to be grade changes. My ADHD, by the way, just saw your allegiance. Who's a Raider fan up in here?
Right here.
Let's go, nation. Take that. Boo, San Diego Chargers. LA, whatever. Anyway. Sorry. But, grade changes, I think, is going to be a big thing. Just right back into it. I know. And if you don't want a grade change, it's like an overpass or like a tunnel, because right now the trains slow people down. And in Southern California, we haven't been used to trains slowing people down. Right. Well, in the Midwest, they got a lot of cargo trains. So those trains that slow people down, they've created overpasses or they created tunnels underneath, like on the East Coast. So here it's going to be a big infrastructure upgrade, but we need to do that first, is have grade changes, because the more train trips you have, the more you jack up traffic. And the more you jack up traffic, the more pissed people are because they're not getting home to their family quick enough. So there's got to be a good balance between the two.
Well, gotcha.
So it's a lot to think about, right?
Oh, yeah.
Shoot.
I mean, the only time I personally ride the train is usually when I go down to San Diego for a Padre game. And
why do you do that? Is it because you don't want to drive or something?
It helps with the traffic when you go down.
Is it a traffic thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if you're just having a lot of fun or something and just have fun.
No, it's not the fun, because I mean, when the game finishes, like I still have to wait like a full other hour before the train comes. Yeah. But I mean, the ride there is definitely a little bit more relaxing than just getting stuck in traffic.
Yeah, traffic's heavy down there for sure. No, and I wish that they had a more practical train system. Like when I was a kid, man, I had to ride my Huffy from Vista all the way to the freaking mall. There were no bus stops and like trains and stuff like there are now. So it's definitely improved a lot, but we still have a lot of work to do. So you guys have taken advantage of that youth opportunity pass, right? Or told people about it? Are you aware of it?
Oh, yeah. I've told everybody who's under the age of 18.
Okay. Are you guys aware that it's going up to 25 now?
Really?
Yeah, going up to the age of 25. I want to say as of like July, I think it goes all the way up to 25 now on the opportunity pass.
That is
so
cool.
If you know anybody who's under the age of 25, and that's how we're also trying to get people to get on our transit, is we figure like if we can get more young kids to ride transit, more young people into it, guys like me, I mean, I'm in my mid-40s, man.
Yeah.
My kids are...
I'm taking my car.
Exactly. I'm like, hey, man, I can program my car to drive where I want it right now. I've been working my whole life, homie. You best believe I'm riding this car, But I get it, man. Gas is expensive. And like, they have these things, what do they call, like Bobs or something like that down in San Diego. I don't know what the acronym is. Look it up. But it's an autonomous vehicle that picks you up and takes you the first and last mile. So like you just text a number, it's free, comes to your house, picks you up, will drive you up to a mile to the transit station. And North County Transit District and, Sandag and, MTS, they're all trying to come up with programs like that to where like, hey, if you're like within a mile of transit, we want to be able to have an autonomous vehicle pick you up so that you ride the train. And if you think about youth opportunity passes and autonomous vehicles picking you up, it's like maybe there really could be a shift to mass transit, But when people don't look at it from that like 40,000 foot perspective, they look at it like, I own a nice car and I should be driving this forever and don't take my car away, which I get it. I'm that guy sometimes. You're a little more closed-minded, but hopefully I've tried to give a balanced perspective of where I think you should be with it.
Oh, most definitely, Joe. Well, I mean, since you touched a little on the Raiders.
Oh, let's go.
Is that one of your pastimes aside from being fully involved in the community? Is that how you take your break? You watching a little bit of sports?
Yeah. So I'm a Raiders fan because there's no other like football team that I'm aware of that plays professional football. Is there any other NFL team? I don't know. But yeah, I'm a Raiders fan straight up, whether they're LA, Oakland, or Vegas, silver and black, I bleed it. So I do like to go to a few Raiders games throughout the year. It being in Vegas, I'm not going to lie. Now my wife likes to come because Oakland's dirty. Shout out to Oakland Raider fans. I apologize. Like, you got to love staying at Mandalay Bay though. Come on. You don't lie to me. Like you walking in tunnel to a beautiful stadium. So I love that. I also like to golf. Do any of you guys golf? Anybody golf?
Nah, man.
Nah.
No. Haven't found the time.
Bro, yeah. I'll tell you what. So I've always been pretty good at sports, and I could never afford to play sports growing up. You know, they didn't have like scholarships and shit like that when I was a kid. So I never got to play organized sports. But when I found golf, I was horrible. Like, and I'm still real bad. Like, I'm horrible at it. But I like to be good at stuff. So it's just something that I hate because I'm really bad at.
You just want to,
But yeah, and like all these dorky looking people beat me, you know, like guys with chicken legs that are like 5 foot tall. They're hitting the ball like 400 yards. And, you know, I mean, I'm a pretty strong dude. I feel like I should be able to golf well. So I golf because it humbles me a lot. I like to lose, as weird as that sounds.
Sometimes you need a loss every now and then.
I'm telling you, you got to have something to strive for. So golf is really my time away from everything. I don't take phone calls on the golf course. I just take advantage of everything nature and God has to offer at the golf course. So, and then, yeah, Raiders, I mean, you know, doesn't get any better than Sundays, at least for the first 6 weeks of the season. I mean, let's go. I mean, I'm a realist. Come on, man. Like, I remember the last Super Bowl was 0-1 or whatever, and we got smashed. It was horrible.
Hey,
Tampa Bay, right?
I want to talk about that, man. They took our coach, like they knew all our audibles and stuff. Like, hey, if Eric Fish ever watches this from Encinitas, I watched the Super Bowl at his house. Dude wasn't even a Bucks fan. Got a Bucks sweatshirt just because we were Raiders fans. And was like, I'm going to host a party. Come on over. You should know if you go to a party in Encinitas, they're going to be wearing Bucks gear. Like, they don't even like football. Like, they're just there to hate on Raider fans. So, anyway, Eric Fish, that was a dick move. That's
we
it.
have a couple comments over here. Shout out to Outside Lens. What does it say, Bruce? I got like the lights.
You good.
What are my thoughts on the 78
out.
freeway construction?
Check us out in Lot B at Alliance. What is it? Allegiant Stadium for the official Raiders tailgate party.
Shut
Every
up.
game.
Come on.
Yeah.
Las Vegas, we coming for you.
He read my mind because I was about to bring that up when we were done.
Let's go.
But yeah,
Shut up.
Game, Lot B.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm not fooling.
Hey, we're going to have and there's no hot mics there or what?
It's all live.
bro.
Oh, live at the Raiders game. I don't know if that's politically correct for a gentleman in my position, but I'll show up for sure.
And the other one you read was what are your thoughts on the 78 construction?
Well, I really feel like it's a great thing that's happening right now. I know the congestion sucks, and I've also made the mistake when it was closed going west of, passing and being stuck, I haven't made the mistake coming back east yet, though, because I learned my lesson going west, but I'm happy with it, believe it or not. Like, I feel like unless something tragic like this happened, they weren't going to look at it, man. And, now when Caltrans came down and Sandag came down, I got to tear into them. I'm like, well, now do you see you haven't done crap to my freeway? And while you're here, can we please fix the drainage at El Camino Real? Because, 3 times over the past 3 years, we've literally had ducks swimming on the 78 freeway because of drainage. And Caltrans said it's Carlsbad's fault. Everybody likes to blame shift. That's one thing with government. It's nobody's fault, right? Everybody's really good. But I did just notice that they're actually cleaning out that whole basin and improving drainage. So, I love that it's being done. I don't like the inconvenience it causes right now, but I feel like within the next 4 to 6 weeks, we're going to have a really good infrastructure. And if you've ever been outside of, California or America and looked at infrastructure in different countries, we seriously, live in the best country in the world. Even though I got to stop at a stoplight to turn left on the 5 freeway, every time I turn my water on, it's fresh. Every time I flush my toilet, it goes to Carlsbad, but it's like we live in a great place. We're blessed just to live here. None of us did anything special to be born in Southern California. So we really should just, everybody slow down a little bit, chill out a little bit, and just, love a little bit more and stop being so uptight. Because, this 78 freeway, it's got a lot of people frustrated, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a good thing. So I'm excited about it. And hopefully it'll bring attention to needing a carpool lane, because they'll be like, look at all these mad people because the freeways. Because now what's happening? North County's being heard. Because once this is broken, you best believe all those soccer moms that had to go to San Marcos or whatever to drop their kids off or whatever, they're pissed, bro. And they don't got much to do but take care of their kids. They got some mama bears real mad,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that it'll bring a lot of attention to us. Should be good.
Oh, we're definitely on the spotlight right now.
Yeah, I mean, as good as you guys look, we should be in the spotlight, right? Let's go.
I do have another question, man. How how do the cities, at least when it comes to like North County, interact with each other?
So
When it comes to like, the local government.
Good question. So we have what's called JPAs, Joint Power Authorities. All right. So SANDAG is a JPA, the San Diego County Association of Governments. North County Transit District is a JPA. Buena Sanitation District, Encinitas Waste Association. I am on the two. I'm on the trash and the shit. That's what I got. Okay. So I'm on the Regional Solid Waste Association, and I'm on the Encinitas Waste Authority. Okay. So all of these JPAs are made up of different cities. So like Encinitas, I mean, I mess with Carlsbad, but my waste treatment program is in Carlsbad, and that is a shared facility with Carlsbad. Carlsbad also defecates in Carlsbad. Everybody does, okay? But I didn't know 20 million gallons of water every day gets dumped into the Pacific Ocean from Encino Waste Authority. And don't get me wrong, it's treated wastewater, but that's how much water we go through every day. So they're looking at, as a bunch of municipalities saying, hey, how can we make that to where it's reclaimed water, or we can use it, whether it's to water our golf courses or your gardens or something, because, there was such a big drought. Now with the drought being over, it's like, yeah, keep dumping it in the ocean. But, working with different municipalities is cool because they work with us on our roads. The RISWA has to do with the trash. North County Transit obviously has to do with transit, San Diego Association of Governments. That's kind of everything as a whole. We talk a lot about driving and roads and stuff like that, but Sandag does a lot more than just, roads and mileage taxes and things. So it's really cool because that's where we meet all the other elected officials from, the El Cajones, the La Mesas, the national cities. So these JPAs are a really big thing, and it's how you get purchasing power. It's like if Escondido, Carlsbad, Oceanside, and Vista all need to buy something, you get it for cheaper than if just Vista wanted to buy something. So
it's like trying to buy a house, buy it with a homie.
Buy it with hey, that's what I'm telling you, homie. Buy it with a homie. Call Joe Green, 760-815-4872.
Program straight up, huh? Buy it with the homie.
Yeah. Welcome to Kick It Lab podcast, where you can buy it with a homie.
Buy it with a homie Thursdays.
That's right, my man. That's right.
Oh, that's been great. We do got another comment coming up here. Alan, aka RPG, saying, "Someone get rid of the gangs. Nah, the video ain't going nowhere. Where, homie, you gonna
have to move.
All right, I had to move to read that comment.
Yeah, and honestly, realistically, there's no way you could ever get rid of gangs, man. You could minimize it, minimize the action, but that's kind of about it.
I mean, that's just how the world is. Anywhere in any country,
straight
you're
up
gonna find some gangs.
Hey, we all are in our own gangs, man. Straight up, like no matter what you call it, like they could call it a gang, but the truth is, a lot of times that's where people find family. And I don't approve of anybody doing dirt, period. But I do know that this life was not meant to be walked alone. And whether your gang is your friends from church, or your gang is your homies from Kick It Lab, or your gang is on your softball team or whatever, we all got to have a gang, and it's a shame that people in underserved communities have to hustle a little harder and fight a little bit more and be exposed to a little bit more, element of crime, I guess, than a lot of other people. And I was exposed to it a lot too. And, prior to becoming a real man and doing what I needed to do for my family, I wasn't the best guy either. But I will tell you, having homies and having friends who I knew would, jump over my back to hit somebody who was swinging on me, or, stop on the side of the road to help me change my tire. Because believe it or not, these little girly hands right here don't do manual labor, right? Don't yell at me. Don't hate on me, okay? My wife does all the tools, man, okay? Oh. She loves building shit, okay? But my homies know that about me. Yeah. And I'm not joking. Like, I literally was on the side of the road, and when my homies pulled over, like, I'll change your tire for you, Joe. And like, as a man, I'm like, thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Like, thanks, bud.
Exactly. But, exactly. But, like, your family comes and goes, and I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, if I need a bone marrow transplant, I got brothers, like I love my family, right? But like, when it comes down to your family, like, you didn't choose your family, and when it comes to my friends, like, I choose them to be my friends every single day. And like, yeah, gangs are bad when you call it like a gang that's like out to fight, or a gang that's out to do crime or something. But if it's just a group of homies that's just trying to provide love and just trying to provide support, because the truth is even in gangs, right? Like, even in gangs where you'd be like, oh, this is a scary gang, we all want somebody to do good. You know, like the homies all want somebody to come out. Like nobody wants to be doing what they're doing. Typically, it's like, look, if we had a choice, we'd do something else, you know. And that's kind of my prerogative on gangs. It's weird that I got into it a little bit on your podcast, but I'll tell you what, like, you know, I'm not scared of gangs because I feel like it's people who need love. And I know that when I grew up, you know, I ran with the same 15, 20 dudes all week, all weekend, you know, and it was fun. It was fine, man. And I turned out okay. I didn't hurt nobody too bad. Yep, put that right there. Yeah.
That
I
part.
feel you, man.
That part.
I feel you.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Exactly.
Man, we do got another one
All right.
saying
One comment again.
you
from
can't
Alan.
for real. Laugh emoji with the 100.
Yes, sir.
Is that-
Don't need no gang. I ride solo.
100%.
Oh,
And that's
shoot, man.
Alan.
Hey, that's lonely, Alan. You need a hug, homie? Come see me. I got you, bro. Let's go.
Lonely.
Have you met our friend Alan?
Nah, he's cool people, man.
Good.
Yeah, super
Cool
cool guy.
People, check out his reaction videos, by the way, if you guys haven't done so just yet.
Okay, I'm gonna do that, Alan. Let's go.
But yeah, man. Dude, thank you so much for joining us, man. It was great.
Dang, is that it? That's the
No,
whole
I'm
podcast?
just saying, man. Like,
Oh, you're
dude,
just
it's cool. Yeah, man.
Hey.
Yeah, I feel like we learned a lot. I mean, I'm sure our viewers also took notes and learned a lot. It has been a great time.
Good, man. Well, you know, it's so weird because, you know, over my, 45 years on this planet, I've learned a lot. And I always tell my wife, my brain is full of so much information and a lot of useless information, but a lot of good information. And you just got to ask the right questions and you get the right answers, you know?
Exactly.
And, I mean, whether it's wanting to buy a house on a down payment assistance program or what does somebody with 60 grand a year qualify for, or what's a mileage tax? Like, I live and breathe this stuff, man. And the reason is I really feel like if you're not learning, you can't be a leader. One of my favorite things to tell the kids is readers are leaders and leaders are learners. And I don't know how much you guys read, right? And you just reading comments. It doesn't matter what you're reading, man. But like, you can't be afraid to read and you can't be afraid to learn. And like when I told you I like to fail, it's part of learning, man. Like when you fail forward and you learn, well, I don't want to do that again. That shit didn't feel good, So, and I ran for mayor in 2018. You guys probably knew that.
Oh, shit.
Did you know that? I ran for mayor of Vista in 2018. I lost. It was so sad.
Well, I think currently you're a deputy mayor, right?
No, I'm not deputy mayor. I was deputy mayor last year.
Gotcha.
It's like an annual thing.
What is deputy mayor?
So deputy mayor is just like your council members are like, hey, if the mayor's busy, who wants to go with all the mayor stuff?
Gotcha.
And it's like, hey, it's your turn to do that. And you're like, yay. I get to do more stuff for $17 an hour. Sounds awesome.
I'm about to fill in.
I'm about to fill in. Hey, you know what I am? I'm about to be the B team, yo. I'm about to be the mayor, B team. But no, it's cool. It's a great opportunity and it's a great title to have, being, deputy mayor or whatever. But, I don't know, man. I'll tell you what, being an elected official has been a lot of fun. And it's given me an opportunity to learn a lot about everything from like development to affordable housing to, RENA numbers. Like, do you guys know what a RENA number is?
What is it?
The Regional Housing Needs Assessment, the Regional Housing Needs Allocation, right? So every 7 years, every city gets a number from like the federal government, which goes to the state government, which goes to the county government, which then goes to the city government, right? So our number in Vista is 1,343. What's the number mean? We have to build or zone over the next 7 years for 1,343 new housing units. So when we show our general plan and our housing plan to the state of California, we have to show them that we're going to be building houses. So like when everybody gets pissed off about us building apartments and stuff like that, we have to build something, right? So we have to build affordable houses. We have to build like market rate houses. We have to build median income houses. So there's all these different types, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. And the states and the feds tell us as local municipalities, you have to build these. So like if somebody comes in and wants to build a 5-story apartment complex behind your house, but you don't want it built, nobody cares what you want. Because if I don't approve that and like say the lot's already zoned for apartments, right? If I don't approve that apartment to be built and they appeal it to the state of California will just let them build by right, whatever they want. And the more times that you deny a development, eventually the state could take away local control. And local control allows us to be like, we want it to be brown, or we want it to be wide, or we want it to be 3 stories or 4 stories, or this far away from a resident.
You get pretty much no say in like.
Exactly. So what the RENA numbers are like, look, man, if you can't provide your housing element and show that you're in compliance with the housing guidelines, you can't even govern your city. And that's what people don't realize, is we have to build houses. We have to build apartments. Like, we don't have a choice. If you don't build them, Gavin Newsom's going to build 20-story apartment complexes on your block, homie. So you better just let us do what we're doing and know that we want what's best for communities. And that's the story in every city. Right now in Encinitas, they denied an affordable housing project that was supposed to be approved by right.
Yeah.
And the developer is suing them right now. Might even be in Del Mar, actually. And they're looking at building it like right on the beach in Del Mar. Like
yeah,
affordable.
actually,
I'd have moved there.
Yeah.
I'd have moved
They might
there.
Be right in Del Mar.
Exactly. But I mean, obviously I can't. But you know what? Maybe my kids can. Or maybe my kids' can. Or like you, who said you made $60,000 a year. Like, hypothetically, a dude makes $60,000 a year. Do you know the median income in San Diego County right now? How much would you guess the median income is in San Diego County?
42,500.
I would guess 45,000.
Any other guesses? Let's go, Lopes. What's your guess?
I'm gonna go 27.
The median income in San Diego County is $109,000. Okay. The median income. All right. If you make 80% or less of the median income in San Diego County, you're low income. So right now, if you make less than $80,000 per year, you're considered affordable. You're low income. You qualify for all the programs. It's crazy, right?
Oh,
and what developers are doing is they're saying that they're providing and that's the problem, is developers are saying they're providing affordable housing, and they're providing housing for people who are between 80% and 120% the median income. That's the definition of like affordable housing, 80 to 120%. So what they're saying is, I'm making 2-bedroom and 1-bedroom apartments for people who are making between 80 grand a year and 130 grand a year. Does that sound affordable to you? No, right?
Oh, man.
And that's where we're at. And the income and, you know, the demographic where we're at has shifted so much that they say they're building it, but they're not. And that's the problem, is like why you have to have local control, because we can say, hey, our demographic is this. And, you know, if we're making, you know, 50,000 here, you know, that should get a special program. You know, it should be like, you know, give us funding for it, get it done. So it's a lot, man. And it's crazy when you look at the way that the bureaucracies are ran and, you know, all the different programs out there. But it's cool, man.
Man, it's tough. I mean, if you guys have any questions out there, make sure to get some information, ask some questions, and just do your research.
Hey, this guy said, nah, I got homies, man, but I prefer to ride solo. I just want to make sure you know, homie, I'll be your homie too. Like, you could ride. I ride solo all the time because I got a really bad voice and I sing in my car. Nobody wants to ride with me.
What are you singing?
I typically sing a lot of 90s rap, you know. I love Wu-Tang. You guys like Wu-Tang?
Yeah, man.
Hey.
Dope.
Wu-Tang, you know.
Wu-Tang's for the kids.
Yeah. They use big words, you know, like it's my jam. So anytime I can rap to some Wu-Tang, it's good.
Hell yeah.
All right, Joe, well, before we fade the episode out, I do have one last question.
Don't tell me to rap Wu-Tang.
Oh, no, I definitely won't. But I just want to take it back to like that moment where you said you have to be a visionary. But for you, what's next in the next couple of years?
Well, I'll tell you what, man. For the next couple of years in Vista, I just want to try to balance out my council. There's a lot of tension right now. The political climate's real tough right now. Who knows what's going to happen in 2024 from an elected official standpoint. I don't even know if I'm planning on rerunning in 2024, quite frankly, since I'm a grandpa now and I got another grandkid on the way coming at the end of May.
Hey.
Shout out to Lainey and Shaney. I'm going to have a grandkid in both arm over here.
Hell yeah.
So, you know, I mean, over the next couple of years, as far as Vista goes, I really just hope that I can just kind of balance the perspective of my citizens to where it's like, look, we're not here to fight with each other, you know, and my council as well. Like, we can work together, even though you see things totally opposite. We come from two totally different sides of the tracks, two totally different types of upbringings. But at the end of the day, we can serve the same community, you know. And once we were districted in 2016, it brought that up where it's like, hey, I'm fighting for my district, or I'm fighting for my party. And I'm hoping over the next couple of years, you know, my vision for Vista is just a place that's welcoming to families, and a place where when people watch our council meetings, they're not shit shows, you know. They're actually things where elected officials are just working, you know, equally yoked all together to make good stuff happen. So, you know, and I do see probably more bus routes, probably more train stops, you know, more youth opportunity passes. And even in the city of Vista, we want to create additional youth opportunities. You know, as a poor kid growing up, like I said, I didn't get to play organized sports because I couldn't afford it. And there's not like a lot of scholarships out there. And there's also pride issues that go with that for families. So, you know, we want to try to cut a lot of that out in Vista and just help our community that's been underserved a little more if we can. So that's where we're at, man, is lifting those people up who need to be lifted up and loved on, bro.
Yeah, man.
And
There you
I
go,
think
as you
sports
should.
is a great way to start.
Heck yeah, man. You know, I mean, some of my best friends that I still have to this day picked on me when I struck out and got tackled or, got tripped on the field. So sports is really a good bonding mechanism for sure.
Yeah, man. We have Arnold the Poet saying, I'm going to run for Vista Mayor. Do it, bro.
Let's go. Run
Do
for
it.
it. Let's
Run
go.
it, man.
Let's go.
Let's get a poet up in there. We have Kick It Lab saying we need Joe Green at a Kick It Labs event in Vista.
Bro, let's go. Let's have a
Let's
Kick
run
It
it.
Lab
Let's
events
do
in
it.
Vista. You
Let's
let me
do it.
know what location
Yeah.
you want in Vista, and I will set it up for you. Okay?
Administration, could you guys make that happen?
Yeah, admin. You let them know. I'll put a special call.
Yeah,
I'll write.
administration said yes.
I'll write a letter on my letterhead or something. It's good.
Hey. Well, you guys got anything else? You guys want to any last messages or words?
Any last
Questions?
raws?
Dude,
Honestly,
let's go.
I think I'm good on my end, dude. This time I'm not gonna, talk smack on the 78 because now I'm looking forward for it to being done. So
Good. See, I didn't watch the episodes when you were talking shit on the 78 either, so I'm glad. I'm like, no, I love that it broke because it's gonna get it. Hey, truth is, it would have never got fixed. It'd still be an unfunded project.
It's one of those things, and honestly, it's funny because I feel like a lot of people here in North County feel the same way. Like, well, I mean, we're not like they're feeling that disconnect between North County and San Diego. So it's I think it's starting to become like a real thing.
Hey, how long have you guys driven over that lump right there at College Boulevard, right?
forever.
Like, dude, on the 78,
Long
you're
time.
going like 65, right? You just passed Emerald and you're in the left-hand lane on the 78, and you pass that off ramp, bro. It's like, it's crazy. So, no, you can literally catch air on that thing. So I'm glad it fell out. I was going to do a backflip pretty soon anyway. So.
It's like a video game. Let's see if I can do it this week.
Dude, it was crazy. It's crazy. So no, man, it's good. I'm glad. But you know what? If you don't talk trash and you don't get out and be heard, nothing's gonna change. And if I could just tell you guys one thing and really believe is that if you don't say shit, nothing's gonna happen. And you actually have to show up, man. Lobbing grenades from a computer screen don't get the job done. Walk into the room, look somebody in the eyes, and tell them, "Hey, I need something changed, and I want you to do it. You're the guy to do it. That's why I'm here." And they do that shit. It's the weirdest thing, But people have become disconnected. Like, you will text me and I'm sitting right next to you. You know what I mean? Like, nah, look me in the eyes like a man, like a woman, like a person, like a them, a they, or whoever you are. Feel yourself and know that you're worth it. And whatever you want to have changed, it's worth being heard. And although it might not happen that day, just plant a seed. Stay persistent, stay consistent, because eventually change will happen. And, it's like with me, man, like I say, man, I voted for marijuana in 1996, man. Yeah, I was a voting age in 96, okay? And it took 20 years before it actually got converted to recreational and 22 years before a legal dispensary in Vista. And mind you, like I told you guys on the break, there were 21 illegal dispensaries in Vista. So somebody says, why so many dispensaries now? Well, we got 11 dispensaries paying taxes. Before, we had 21 illegal dispensaries. And with the fentanyl crisis and, all the crap they're putting in drugs these days to our kids, making sure you have safe, reliable access to cannabis and knowing what you're putting in your body is extremely important. So, I'm an advocate for it. I don't think I'll ever stop being. And I hope, nationally, some change can happen as well, because it's a real benefit.
There you go. You heard it right here from Joe Green himself.
We got
Pounding my chest like King Kong. I like it.
I was
Let's
about to
go.
say, sir. King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Hey, let's go. Let's go.
RPG's asking, is Boomer still around? Yes, Boomers is still around.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd hang. Yeah, their golf course ain't what it used to be, though, homie. I apologize.
not.
Yeah.
It hasn't been taken care of too well. Weed. Hell yeah.
Yes, sir. That's what the episode was about.
It's called cannabis, for the record, because marijuana and weed is not socially acceptable. However, cannabis, super acceptable.
Straight up.
There you go. So
Get your
don't-
English right.
Can't ever forget.
So
about the
today's
flower.
419. I just want to make sure we got 2 more minutes on this. I'm thinking you do 2 hours or whatever. Is that how this works?
it depends. It varies, man. Honestly, from episode to episode.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying today's 419. Okay. That means tomorrow is, guess what?
420.
420. All right. So I would not be doing myself any favors if I did not tell you guys, please visit our 11 dispensaries in the city of Vista tomorrow. If you're going to be consuming cannabis, consume it responsibly, but make sure that if you're there to purchase it at one of our legal dispensaries, and make sure you have a great time. Maybe if you tell them Joe Green sent you, maybe they'll give you a discount or something. I don't know. Be like, hey, we saw your boy on a podcast. He said we get 30% off. So check it out. If I did my cannabis corridor tour there, you might be able to get a discount. Tell them you love their tour or something. So anyway, man, appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate you guys having me. I know I'm
Yeah,
not your
man.
average guest, right?
No, well, it's funny because we've actually had Miss Contreras on here before
Okay.
in our older.
Was she as
studio.
much fun?
She was fun. She was
was
she's
fun.
cool.
She was
They're
as much fun? Dang it.
It's different types of fun, but they were
Shout
equally
out to
fun, dog.
Karina Contreras. Te amo con toda mi vida, amiga.
And even from here in Oceanside, we've had a couple of people who ran for city council, or a couple of city council members also
Good.
come here. So yeah, it's not too far from our island.
Good, man. Well,
Yeah.
I like it. I'm
You gotta
happy to be
diversify
here.
your bonds, you know.
Hey,
Yep.
you know, I always say we got to infiltrate, not isolate, my friend.
Yep.
You know, nobody should be on an island. So let's do it.
Yes, sir. Well,
Sick.
thank you so much, man. We appreciate it for real.
Yeah, one more time, Joe. Where can they find you or reach you at?
Well, they could obviously reach me if they go on cityofvista.com under elected official. You'll see me there. Big movement happening on YouTube, man, at Joe Green 760. So come on my YouTube channel. I got Councilman's Corner that's going bi-weekly. So if you want to hear more stuff about like what happens in city council meetings and, you know, like what's on our agenda and things, check Councilman's Corner out. The California Cannabis Corridor, hopefully going to start blowing up. We want to make sure that we tour all 11 dispensaries. I'm doing it in conjunction with Guide Me Tours, which is a business that worked in conjunction with the city before. And like I say, just trying to bring some more awareness out there. So you search Joe Green 760 pretty much anywhere, you're going to find me, my friends. So please reach out. Anything I can do. If you live in the city of Vista, hit me up. And if you don't, that's all right, man. We still love you. Got mad love for Oside.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I do also want to give a shout outs. This will be the last bits. Check us out on the Kick It Labs channel, the Michael Gabriel podcast. It is gonna be 420. There is gonna be a giveaway, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Catch us. And also do want to go ahead and drop it that we are gonna be doing a couple events, aren't we, boys?
Yes, sir. A couple events coming your way. So stay tuned for those flyers and that info coming to you real soon.
Hell yeah. And with that being said, though, catch us next time. Thank you for sipping up with us. Thank you for talking up with us. Thank you for kicking it.
Peace.